Here we are, day 18, not for the week. Day 17 definitely gets our blood going, and I'm looking forward to day 19 already. But day 18, we're not just talking about our intimate relationship with our spouse, but we're talking about our relationship with Jesus. And my mind and early church fathers' minds go to this intimate relationship with Jesus when we talk about Holy Communion. I don't know what your background is like in the faith. I don't know when you started taking communion, if you've ever had communion. Right? Jesus, the scriptures tell us, it was on the night that he was betrayed during the Passover meal. Right? He took bread, he took wine, and he said, this isn't about remembering that you've been saved from the land of slavery that's Egypt and that God rescues you. This is about my body, my blood, my flesh. And I love that, right? The intimate moment that we have with Jesus in communion. Certainly we receive the forgiveness of sins, but Jesus said something else in communion. He said, this is the blood of the new covenant, right? Covenant. Right? Think about that. History tells us, and still in some cultures today, what would take place when a young man would propose to a young girl. He'd actually give her a cup of wine, and if she would take the cup of wine, that would be him giving her the ring, and if she would take it and drink it, that means that she was saying yes to being married. And what the young man would say, this is the blood of my covenant to you, right? Will you marry me, right? And if she would say yes, she would drink it, right? And so I picture our relationship with Jesus, how the first time we take communion, right? Certainly that is a covenant in and of itself, because Jesus said this is the blood of the new covenant. We're receiving that. And certainly for most of us, right, before communion, we already believed in Jesus. We're already in this intimate relationship with him, but something just happens even deeper in communion. And then every time we take communion, right, we're renewing that covenant. God's renewing that covenant with us, his promise of forgiveness, his promise of presence in our life, his promise that he's always fighting for us. So I don't know what it's like in your relationship with Jesus when you feel the most intimate with him, but there's something so deep and so rich with communion. I pray that if you haven't received it, that you will receive it one day. Right? The book of Corinthians talks about it in the scriptures, and all the gospels. Jesus talks about how intimate communion is, and certainly that was an intimate moment, that Passover meal that Jesus instituted communion in. But I do pray for your intimacy with Jesus, right? And again, right, your spouse isn't Jesus, and I'll even say the sex is not Jesus, right? Sex doesn't completely fulfill us, right? It's good for us, but it's not Jesus, and so may sex not be an idol. May Jesus continue to be on a throne in your heart, in your mind, and certainly in your relationship with your spouse. May he be on the throne. It's not all about sex. It's not. Right? It's all about him. It's always been about him. And so may he deepen his relationship with you. And so hand to hand, knee to knee, right? As we continue not for the week, I encourage you, pray. Thank God for communion. Thank God for intimacy with him, and ask him to be Lord, right? So that's not all about sex, that it's all about Jesus. And so not for the week, day 18. Day 19, the couple gets in a fight about sex. So that's what will be day 19, not for the week.